Okay, hello students. This is lesson number 5.1, and our main learning target is after completion, every student should identify elements in a linear model of the form y equals mx plus b. Then you're going to create a linear model with algebra between two quantitative variables. Then also we are going to graph that linear model and also apply in the real life situation. So the main thing is the whole this piece is so dense, it shows a lot of information. The main idea is to understand what is a linear model. So an equation of the form y equals mx plus b. So let me pull that out. So so the main equation is this piece. So y is m. So there are four variables here. So we need to identify which one is what. Now what does this So y and x. So remember, last we have seen that x and y are always ordered pairs, and this ordered pair represents the coordinates of any point. Let's see if I have a point here. This could be represented by dropping perpendicular on the x-axis, and you get a number maybe 5. So that's like 5. And then you drop perpendicular on the this one. So it's a horizontal. This is like a horizontal distance, the green color, and that may be 3. So this becomes 3. So this is x and y. So I hope you. So this is what we have done in the last class, and it could be anywhere. If I have a point somewhere here, we seen that this point is. If I go all the way down, and you see the red color, this piece, the distance from the origin, the main point, that could be 4 maybe, and we write 4. I mean, this point is, if you drop, it goes on 0, right? So this is 0. And now you're not going left or right, so you're stationary. This dot is on the y-axis. So if it is on the y-axis, and the point is 4, so it is 0 comma 4. So always remember, any point on the y-axis is 0 first, and then how far the point is from the center, the origin. So all those things we have done. The main idea is now, what is the relation? Let's see if there is a point. So if you have, a point, one point here, one point here, like this, these are linear. They are like collinear. They lie on the same uh, lines. There is a relation between this point, maybe I'm gonna write, maybe if this is 1 and 1 and 2, or if this is 3, it is 3 and 6, or like double if it is 5, and this is 5 and 10, and you can see there is a relation between x and y. So so the y is the double of the x. So we can create like this. So this type of equation is when a line passes maybe through the origin. What about if the line does not pass through the origin, and you have something like this, see, and it starts somewhere here, let's say 3, and then it goes on like this, see, point. So then that point which you see is where it cuts the y-axis is the 0 comma 3, which is all called y-intercept. So what is y-intercept? Basically means where the line crosses the y-axis. And if it crosses here, let's see, if it is 0 comma minus 2, it will be minus 2 comma 0, and that becomes the x-intercepts. So x-intercept and y-intercepts are the points either on the x-axis or the y-axis, and written with the ordered pair. So that's why our equation says, our main equation is y equals mx plus uh, mx plus b. Why I like to show this is because we need to connect. So last class I shown this, but still I would like to show what is the slope. So we know that slope is uh, it is a ratio of difference in the y's, so y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. So what does this mean? I took a point here. Let's see, this is one point and this is another point. You can say I can join this. And we want to know what's the distance, and I want to create a triangle out of this. Uh, Now see, if I draw a dotted from both sides, we want to know what's the distance, horizontal distance from this point is 1, this is 6 here. And you can see the distance from this point to this point is 6 minus 1. Okay. So this is called x1 because it's on the x-axis and this is the x2. Okay. And similarly, we can you draw dotted over here. See, I can draw dotted here. So this point is 2, which is y2, y1, and this one is y2, which is 4. So the vertical distance here, this distance will be uh, 4 minus 2. Of course, it is 4 minus 2, but we can write it as in the variable form, that is the red color, which is so. So that means this distance. So it's the same as this one, which is 4 minus 2. It is 4 minus 2, but instead of 4 minus 2, 4 is y2 and 2 is y1. Okay. This distance is the red color, which is the same thing here. And this is at y2 minus y1. And then let me use the blue color to show this one is 6 minus 1, which is x2 minus x1. See? So same thing, this distance. This is the horizontal distance. I create a triangle, and this is 6 minus 1, which is x2 minus 1, x1. Then you can, if you want to know how steep is this point, let's say this line segment from A and B, how steep is this? How steep is AB? So, and that's what it is called slope. Slope basically means gradient. So gradients of the road, maybe gradient percentage wise. Also, which is we write it as rise over run. And in this case, run is either you go left or right, and rise could be going up or down. So right now the point is rising. See, this point is going up. I mean, there's a rise. This is the rise. The red color is the rise. This is the rise. So in this case, we can write this answer is here y2 minus. So this is y2 minus y1, the red color, divided by the blue one, x2 minus x1. So this is written using for the slope, we use the letter m. M stands for this is how the formula exists. So we should know why the formula, not just directly using. And we are already seen the answer is going to be this one, 6 minus 1. Here it is. So it is, sorry, the down one is 6 minus 1, and the top one is the red color. So the red color is this one, 4 minus 2. So it is 4 minus 2. And you can see, we can simplify and write it as 2 divided by 5. That means, what does this basically means? For every 5 runs, so it is like 1, 2, 3. So you're starting with point A, you can move to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right. So you're moving 5 right. That's what this is. You move 5 right, and then you go up 3. So if I want to clean this up, so you go up 3 here. See this one. So you go 1, 2. I think I made a mistake. This is 4. This is 2, which is 2 up, because this is like 1, right? Every 2 spacing is 1. So it is like 1 and 2. So it's a 2 up. So this is the understanding of the meaning. And if we can have another point. Now, you can see the slope here is positive, and we ended up getting slope here as positive. What is positive slope basically means the line is rising up. You can see from left, from the point A to point B, the line is rising. Now you could have also a line going downward. So you could have a point like this point C, and another point maybe here, see? And if I join this D, so this will be point, if you see this, uh, you can check, this goes 2 and 5, you know, and this point is, if you see here, it is 8, so it is 8, and you go this way, see? You can create a triangle, and that's 2, so it is 2. So when you begin from the left point, you'll have to go down 1, 2, and 3. So here the slope is, of course, you can see it is 3 down, which is 3 down, and which is now going downwards. We use negative, so we write -3, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 6 downwards plus. I mean to the right. So the slope is negative. That's the main thing, negative, positive, positive. You can also write this as dividing by 3, both numerator, denominator, 1/2. See? So that also is the slope. You could also use, instead of this point, you could just use this point also. And you have another triangle there. And see this triangle here? So this triangle, so it is like going one down. It's like you go one down, and then you go two right. See? So same thing. So this and this is one, and this. So here the slope is negative. So I wanted to show here is because of what does slope basically means, an idea to understand that it is also called rate of change. Now, what is rate of change? Rate of change basically means, for like in this example, for every 6 increase in the x. So these are the 6 increase, right? So x increases, and x increases by six places, and then the y goes down. See, this 5 which was here, now it is 2, so it is decreased. So this y decreases by, you can see 1, 2, and 3. So y decreases by 3. That's the understanding. Rate of change is the ratio of how much x or difference in the y's. We write it x2 minus y1. That is the difference in the axis. Or another way to write it, difference in the axis. The denominator is difference in axis, and the top one is difference in the y's. Difference in the y's. Another way to write it also using delta notation. So delta y over delta x. In change in x. So the another is change in x and divide by change in y. So this is called change. If you are taking a pre-calculus class, you will learn this. What is the meaning of that? Change in y. So I hope so. A lot of information. This is y2 minus y1, which I forgot. That's the formula. But then you can write this difference in the y divided by difference in the x. You can use another notation here. So I hope I made sense to you. Our goal is now, the next is directly to learn. Uh, so all this information is right here. If you click on this, this also goes to desmos.com. If you see this, mm, see, everything that I showed is right here. So the main equation is y is mx plus b. B is where it crosses in this part. And all this is the horizontal distance. This is the vertical distance. And as I move this, let's see, watch this. So as this point is moved up, the y2 change, x to y2 changes. This is x to y2. And as x to y2 change, and you can see the slope stays the same. Look at the slope is already 2 here. No matter where you take the point, you see. So it is like change in the y divided by change in the x is always 2. So this is a nice demonstration of to understand how so the horizontal distance change and the vertical distance also changes. Eventually you get this when you apply the formula, you get the answer as 2 over 1 in this example. And B, if I change B means the y-intercept changes. You can clearly see what's going on now. It is 4.4, 4. Then it is 4.5, then it goes to 6, 6.1, and like that. And then you can decrease it and go down also. Okay, let me show direct. Let's go directly to solve the problem examples and here whole information. So the first example is saying, how do we know? How do we know if So first example, which of the following are linear? So the meaning of linear, what is a linear model? A linear model is when you have y is the x that you have has to be the exponent of x has to be 1. It means this could be 3x and maybe 10. Now, this could be going for a PIMA fair and you end up, in the beginning, you pay entrance fee. This could be your entrance fee, like this, entrance fee. And then what does this 3 basically mean for every one ride? So here there is a rate of change, which is rise over run for every one ride you're paying $5, $3. So each dollar is like and that means what does this Y stands for? This is like how much total cost? So this will be like a total cost. So the beginning 10 is fixed, even though if you go in the inside of fare, the entrance fee is 10. And every time your son or daughter uses the ride, you end up paying 3 times like that. So hope this equation just an example, but we have a lot of them to do. This 2 weeks maybe, and the idea is you have to comprehend this piece. That means the number that multiplies the x. This is the slope which I'm talking about. So the equation is y equals mx plus p. This number that you see is the slope, the number that times the x, or just before the x. It is also called coefficient of x. Another word used in maths use is coefficient. Coefficient of x. Okay, and this b that you see is where the if you draw x-axis y-axis it cross. It, so it is where the point. Let's say this is the 10, like this. See 10. So 10 is the down payment, and then you go on paying $3. That means if you use one ride, it becomes 13 maybe here. So it's like this. If you two ride, then will be 60. Your total will be 16 because you're paying $3 more. This will be point here. See, if it is 3 ride, then it will be 19. You can clearly see what's happening, and it is like a drawing a lines. So all these points, let me see, 0, 10. Then if you do one ride, then you pay $13. If you use two ride, you pay $16. If you do three ride, it is $19. So all these point x, y, x, y, x, y, whatever this point here, see, they satisfy this equation, the one that you see here, linear. So this linear equation has a name, and the name of this linear model is called slope-intercept form. And when you say they don't mention whether it is x-intercept, so this means it is a y-intercept. It's like 0, 10 here. See? So I hope I'm making sense here. So this 10 is the y-intercept. That's like a down payment. You let's say you call if this is your house and you want to do some plumbing issue in your house, so you bring a plumber and the plumber says, okay, I'm gonna come to your house. But my visitation fee itself is $50, and anything more, any more hours he works, let's say he works more hours, and I can say he charges $60 an hour, so it's 60 times T instead of X. instead of x, which is I'm using t. This is called independent variable, and to remember, independent variable. And y is like a total cost. Let's say I can put a c here. So this equation becomes c equals 60 times. See how beautiful this? So, this t, how many hours did the plumber work? So you're going to multiply 60 because each hour is you're going to pay $60. So the slope is 60 here. So as and when we are solving a lot of problems, you understand. So this is just a start in the beginning. I'm trying to make sense. What does the rate of change, the 60 that you see is you're paying the plumber for every 1 hour. It's like a rise over run. For every 1 hour, you're paying $60. See? So that's the rate of change or the slope. Okay, so and each of this point they satisfy the equation. So if I create this equation, let's see this equation that I created, we can plug in and see really it works or not. So let's really do that and understand because if you understand this in exactly what I'm saying, actually showed a visuals. Let's see if I want to know this 1 and 13. So this is y is 13. So I'll put y is 13 and it is 3 times and x is 1 plus 10. And you can see 13 is 3 plus 10 and 13 is 10. 13. So this is true. What does that basically means? If a point is on the line 1 and 13, we say it satisfies this model, linear model. So that's the understanding here. Satisfies means the left becomes equals to the right. Now, if you see this problem number 1 that they gave us here, this piece you can see it is y is 10x and raised to 1. So this is linear. See, this is linear. If you see this piece, even though they gave you, we can rearrange the term and write 2x first and then the plus 5. So again, this is a linear. Even this one, look, y is, we can rearrange and write 45x plus 100. And each time we can write down, so this is the y-intercepts. So those are the y-intercepts, which is b in the linear model y is mx plus b. So the b part is the y-intercept. And this 10 is the slope, the number that multiplies. So here 2 is the slope. Here the negative slope. So it means for each time you increase, each time, this means it is 1. So every time you increase, if the input, also another way to show is also the input. When input is increases by 1, that means x increases. So x also is called the input. It is also called independent variable. Okay. And the y is the output also. This is the output. This depends. So y depends on the x. So here in this example, this is the slope. I hope I make sense. So if this is the equation, the line will be going downwards like this. Okay, I hope this two equation, the line is going up because it's plus. See? So positive slope means line is going up. Let's go to the example number 2. Okay. Okay. Now here, mhm. Okay. So let's see. So in this problem number, example number 1, this is example number. I try to make a nice find a linear model that goes through points. So you have given 2 points here. So all you do is, so our goal is to find y equals mx plus b, and we need to know what is the slope. You want to know what is the b. This is the question mark. This is our goal. Step 1, we'll figure out what is rise. So rise is y2 minus y1 here. So in the problem, let's put this as I'll use x1 and this is x2, and the blue color I'll use y1 and y2. So this is that y1, this is y2, the blue color. So that means it is 3 minus 4, 1. See? So which is equals to 2. And the other one is the run. Run is x2 minus, here it is x2 minus x1. So that means here it is, this will be 5 minus this will go here, 4, and you get 1. So the red one is 1, the run, and the blue is, the red is the 1, and the blue is the 2. So 2 here. So this is the slope, this is the slope. So even though we call it 2, but I like to write 2 over 1. For every 1 increase of x, the y increases by 2. Plug in the value of m here in this equation. You can see the slope is 2. Let me use the slope as 2 here, the green color 2. So this is the m, right? This is the m. So that goes right here. So which is 2. And the 2 and the b, which is b, the b, okay, what is the y? Now we need to know what is b. How do we figure out? So the equation slope this is the slope intercept form, but what you do next is, this is step number 2. I think I forgot to write step 2. So plug in this first point, which is 4. You could do second point also. I'm going to call this as xy also, and plug it in the equation here, this equation. So the y is 1, so 1 equals 2x, and the x is, so 2 times x is 4. So this is x is 4 plus b. Okay, and that becomes 1 equals 8 plus b. And if you subtract 8 both sides, you can see minus 7 is b, and you're done. So once you get this, then in this equation now we can do the conclusion and say, hey, y equals 2x, and the b that you got is, you put back wherever the b is, and that is minus, actually it is plus of minus 7, and you can write it also as 2x minus 7, and you're done. Okay, I hope I made sense. So this is how you find. Let's do another one, and then you get a hang of it. So we could also graph this. I don't know whether on this one there's a grid. We'll try to graph this. Remember the equation that we got was y equals plus 2x, and this is the y-intercept. This is where you start to draw the line. You begin on the y. So 7 is here. This is that point minus 7 here. And then this is 2 over 1. See, the slope is 2 over 1. That means you go 1 right and you go 2 up. So that means I can, or you could also, okay, because this grid is too small, so I'll go, okay, 1, you go 1 to the right, and you go 1 and 2, see? So again, 1 and 2. Again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, like this. And you get a line like this. So this is this geometrical shape, which is called a line, because it is linear. So this is the line, and this line is represented by this expression. And you'll see later on we are going to graph parabolic shape, where the equation will be of the form maybe 3x squared plus 5x minus 3. So when the degree, the highest exponent, you see there's a 1. So if it is 1, this is called degree. Degree is 1, and it is going to be a line. That's why I call linear model. But if the equation is this way, then it's going to a parabolic shape. Sometimes concave up or it could be concave down. So those are the things we will see later. So question number 2 for the same thing again. We have 2 points. So the first thing we call this as x1, y1. This is x2, y2, and the slope. So the step number 1 is the slope formula, difference in the y and the difference in the x's. And then you just subtract this. So y2, so you have to subtract 5. So this y2 is 3. So this will be 3 and this will be 5. And x2 is 2. And be careful here, x1 is -4. And there's a minus already by default from the formula. There's a minus here. But your number x1 is -4. So negative negative becomes 2 negatives makes it positive. So this will be -2 over 6. And if you divide by 2, you get -1/3. So this is the slope. So step number 1, you always find this, and then you have equation y is mx plus b, the slope intercept form, and then you write y is, and the m is already here it is -1/3 of x plus b. Now our next goal is to find this b. How do we find? So we'll try to use one of this point, this or this. So I'm going to use this point because that's easier. It does not have a negative. So plug in 2, 3 in the above equation. So this will be equal 3. So this is y and this is x. So we replace y by 3 and x by x is the red 2. So this is the red 2, right? And this is what we don't know. So I'll put a b here. Now, because there's a fraction and the fraction has a denominator 3, so what we will do is we'll write one more step here. You could do directly, so this will be -2/3. And plus, because how do we solve this for b is get away with the fraction. So there's a 3 there. So multiplication property of equality says if you multiply left side, so you have to also multiply right side. Okay, I can write here also. So everywhere you multiply by 3. So that way this 3 crosses out because 3 over 3 is 1. And this becomes 9. This is -2 plus 3b. Then add to both sides. So that way you get 11 equals 3b. And then divide by 3. This crosses out and you get b is 11 by 3. So this equation, so the equation now equals, so this equation now, this is the conclusion, right? So this equation will be y equals -1/3 x. And now you got b is 11 over 3. So plus 11 over 3 and you're done. Of course, we can, this is called slope intercept, slope dash intercept. There is also another different ways to write also like ax plus b plus b in the standard form. Uh, but right now we are not interested. We just want to find a linear equation in slope intercept form. The next question is how do we graph this? Okay, plot by point. That means choose a minimum of two inputs. It means at least you should have 2 points to be. If you want to graph this equation, see one thing is, you can make a get 2 points. Let's say this is x, y, and y is minus 2 over 3x plus 5. Okay, so you have to have minimum at least two, but I'll take 3 points, and you can see there is a 3 at the bottom here. So the best thing is take multiple of threes. So you don't want fraction to be there. So if I want to take the the the, the slope here, this is the equation. See this? I need to plug in some x. So this is x. So the best bet is I will plug in -3, 0, 3, and I could also put 6 also because these all are multiple of threes. So first case is if I want to do this piece, okay. So this is equals -2/3, and you're multiplying. Let's put you're plugging in -3. So this is -3. See. So when you put -3, so this 3 and this 3 crosses out, and two negatives makes it positive. So this becomes plus, and just a 2 stays. See? If I plug in this equation as x is 0, so this will be -2/3 times 0 plus 5. So that means anything times 0, because this is called additive identity. Anything times multiplied to 0 is always 0. So you get just a 5. And if you plug in -2/3 of 3 and then add 5. So this time I'm plugging in 3, and this 3 crosses out. You get -2 plus 5, which is 3. Okay. So this is 3. If you plug in 6, if this is plugged in, so it is -2 over 3 times 6 plus 5, and that gives you this 3 divides 6 two times, and 2 and 2 become -4 plus 5, and you get plus 1. So these are the points. Which are the point? -3 and 2, 0 and 5, 3 and 3. So they asked us, they had asked us two minimum. I got 4 of them. And when you want to graph this, so if you want to graph this, like this, you can graph and say, okay, 1, 2, and 3, -3, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 4, 5, and 6. See? So -3 and 2 will be, let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like this. You can go on and we'll mark this point. -3 is here and 2 is here. So this will be first point, -3 and 2. Next one is 0 and 5. So 0 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the y-intercept actually. And 3 and 3. So 3 and 3. 3 and when it is 3 -2. I think I missed one point here. I think this is the wrong one. Because see this piece I forgot to add 5 here. So when you add 5 to 2, this should be 7. So I'll take this off and put 7 there. So that's 7. This is 7. So let me clean this off. This is not there. So, -3 and 7, 5, 6, 7. So somewhere here. 3 is 3. So if this is 3 and this is 3, so this 3, this will be 3 is 3. And 6 is 1. And you can see you get a nice point here like this. I mean, a line that can be graphed. I hope I'm making sense. So all you do is, because there's a denominator 3 was there, we use this numbers. If you see the next question, it has, I think, if you see this one has 5. So if you have 5, 3.2 on your packet, so there's the 5 in the denominator. So what I'm gonna do is when I make a table, or you don't have to make a table, I'll say, okay, x equals, let's pick -5, pick x equals maybe 0, and pick x equals +5. So that way we can now figure out for this input, so your y will be equals 3/5, because that's the equation, 3/5 of the -5. So this is -5. And then the +1. So we can cross out this 5, and you get y equals, there's a single negative sign stays. So -3 + 1, you get -2. Okay? So that means the point is when input is -5, output is -2. Let's do this one, y equals 3/5 of x. This time x is 0, and then +1. So anything multiplied to 0 is 0. So you get y equals 0 + 1. Okay. Now when you put this one, it is 3/5 of 5. And what is 3/5 of 5 + 1? 5 crosses out. And you get 3 + 1, you get 4. So the point is 5, 4. So these are the points 1, 2, and 3. These are the ones we need to make a x-axis. So there is no x-axis grid given to you. You can make your own grid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the numbers are, you can see -2 here. Output is -2, 1, and 4. So let's see, this is -1 will be down. This will be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's mark those points. The first point is this, -5 and 2. Sorry, -2. So -2 will be this one. So this will be -5 and -2. 0 is 1. So this is 0 is 1. And 5 is 4. So 5 is 4. So this is 5 is 4. So and you get a line. And you're done. I hope making sense to how to graph. This is graphing using minimum 2 points. Using minimum 2 points. Minimum 2 points. So our lesson for tomorrow will be where we are going to apply this situation given uh, 2 points. How do we apply in the real life? Let me go directly to the exercise. Okay, next one is graphing linear model from slope endpoint. It means by just knowing the slope and the point. So this point, usually this point is what the y-intercept. If this equation is given like this is always going to be 0, b, which is the y-intercept. Okay. So now, of course, here is given to you 0, b from this equation. This is also found also by plugging in x is 0. Like if you put x equals 0 here, suppose plus anything times 0 is 0, you can see y becomes equal to b. So that's what that means. Any other point, then you plot the point. So whatever this, once you plot this point, then use the slope rise over run, and accordingly, I'm going to show. I want you to read this rise over plot directly. We'll use the problem. You see this, they gave us. So you can see example number 5 says graph the following using information about slope. So you give y equals half x plus 1. So what I'm going to do is going to take half x plus 1. I say here it is. Okay, so I'm going to take this grid so that I don't want to make a mistake here. So it says y equals half x plus 1, right? Forgot. Is it half x plus 1? Let's check. Yes, half x plus 1. Okay. So what you do is this. So the first main point is 0, comma b, and b is this 1, 0, comma 1. So where is 0, comma 1? Right here. See, this is that. So this is 0, comma 1. Once you get this point, the slope is, when you compare this with the slope intercept form, this is that one, right? And the m is half. See? So m is 1 half. What does it mean? You go, because it is positive, see, you go to right. That means the run is 2 right, and you go 1 up because there's plus 1. That means if this is 1, you go 2 right. That means I go 1, you run 2 to the right, and you go 1 up. See, like this, like this. Again, if you want to do one more time, you go 2 to the right, and you go 1 up. You go 2 to the right, 1 up. Or you could also do the same thing. Instead of, I could write -1 over -2, because this and this is the same thing. Instead, we could go 2 left, because there's a minus sign, see? So it's like 2 left and 1 up. So I'm using different color here. You could say, okay, if I start here, you could go 1, 2 left, and 1 down. Sorry, this is down because of -1. So you go 1 down to get this point. So you go 2 left, go 1 down. And likewise, we can graph this. That's the equation. That's the line which represents the linear model y equals half x plus 1. I hope I'm making sense. Let's do another one to understand this. The next piece is about understanding, does every line, let's see if this is a line, which is y is mx plus b, does this line has x-intercept, x-intercept or and y-intercept? So is it really necessary that always there has to be, no, has to be x-intercept and y-intercept? Means basically, I'm going to show with an example. Now this gives a lot of parts in variable form. So I'm going to go directly and show with the help of Desmos activity. Watch this. We go right here and I tap in here and write down, if I write y equals 2x plus 3, and you can see it is a line with the y that you see here is the point here is the y-intercept, and the 2 comma 1. What is this basically means? The rise over run is, so this is like there's a slope here. In this case, there is a slope. So this one has a slope. So m is 2, okay, which is 2 over 1, rise over run, and the b, because the equation is of the form y equals mx plus b, the b is the y-intercept. So this point is that 0, comma 3 here. Now this one has a y. It also has a x-intercept. You can see here also. It has both x-intercept and y-intercept. But what if the line was like, let's see, if there was a line this way, or vertical line, watch this. So whenever the line is vertical, and you can see here, this line does not have a slope because it is just rise, 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 rise. There's no run here, see? So such equation, which is the slope is, we say slope is undefined. So there's no slope here, it is undefined. And it goes through 4. So we write, for such equation, we write the x-intercept here, this x-intercept is 4, comma 0. Or we also write the equation of this line is x equals 4. So when m is undefined, if the line does not have a slope, so it's going to be a vertical line here. So this is a vertical line passing through 4. And you pick any point. Let's see if I want to pick a point here, and this point is going to be 4, 4, 6. If this is 5, this point will be 5, 6. If this is the point, this will be, sorry, 4, 5 here. If this is the point, this point will be 5, 3. If this is the point, this will be, 4, so the first point, the x coordinate is always 4. So if this is the point, this is 4, 2. If I take this point, this will be 4, -1. So in this case, I think it's 4, 1 here. So if this is -1, this will be 4, -1. And that's why we say equation is x equals 4. But if you have a line that is horizontal, let's see, this is 3, right? If you have a line, horizontal line, and you can see it only has the x-intercept, which is 0, 3, and there is no y-intercept. See, there's no y-intercept here, only x-intercept. So the horizontal line has only x. It has only, no x-intercept. It has only y-intercept. So because it goes through this point. And also, if you see the slope here is 0. The slope here is 0 because it is like 0 over 1, 0 over run. So no matter which 2 points you take, let's say you only run, but you do not go up or down. So you're not going up down. So the slope for this is 0. So horizontal line has slope 0. This is one more information. So any horizontal line the slope is always 0. If you have a vertical line, the last one I showed you, this one, vertical line, slope is undefined. So this one slope is undefined, and the vertical intercept is, this one, the x-intercept is 4 and 0. So there is no, for this one there is no y-intercept, no y-intercept. So this is all about information about that point. So let's take the example number 4.2. So graph minus 2/3 x using the slope. Graph the linear model by using the information about the slope and this. So this is 4 point. I think we did with this, right? Yeah. So how do we graph this? Okay. So remember, this is y equals minus 2/3 x plus 5. So I'm going to use this one. And what I'm going to do is take this one, minus 2/3 x plus y, right? The equation is y is minus 2/3 x, and I forgot the plus 5s. So how do we graph this? So you start with the y-intercept. So the 5, when you compare this equation to mx plus b, you can clearly see this piece. This is the y-intercept. That's where you start 5. So this point is 5 there. So I'm going to write this is 0, 5. So that's where it starts. So this is the point, starting point. And the slope that you see is, this is the slope. The slope is minus 2 divided by 3. What does this basically means? And the bottom is positive. So I'm going to write, okay, you go 3 run. That means you go 3 to the right. And this is rise. Rise means here the rise basically means going down. So it's like two down. So simple. So that means if I go three right, so I go one. So because this is one, that's three. So if I go one, two, and three, then I have to go two down. Again, if I go three run, so every three run, I have to go two down. Well, and like that. So you get this points, you get this point, and then you graph it, and you're done. You're done. So always remember you have to put an arrow both sides to show. So this is like how really modeling or how to graph using directly the point and then the slope. So before that, we had seen we try to take some of the points. Remember, we had made a table like this called x and y, and I picked 2 points because there was a three, so I took minus three, zero, plus three, and like that. So different approach to do the same thing. Okay, example. Now we have to use. This shows all the necessary information, and I'm going to go directly to use the example number 5. Here it is. So example number 5. Okay, this is example number 5. Our research shows that a child's vocabulary growth is approximately linear between 12 to 18 months of age. After 18 months, the vocabulary tends to grow at faster rate. Study tracked a particular child's vocabulary development with the following results. So this is the information. There are two information here, very important information. So this first one is when the child is of 12 months age, the child knows 5 vocabulary words. This means when the child is at the age of 18 months, the child learns 31 words. So basically, when we talk about X and Y, remember the input, I always like the input, output, and this is the output, which is dependent on whatever the input is. So in this case, instead of X, we can write, we use, because this talks about age in months, so I can call M is the how many months passed by. And this one, because the vocabulary words, I'll write V. So what is M stand mean? Number of months. No, let M stand for number of months, and what is this? And V stand for a number of vocabulary words. Number of vocabulary words. So M means from the time the child is born till the M. Now, what this basically means, this is like, let me write here on top 12. So 12 is 5. So this is like your something like M and V, and the other one is 18 is 31. Okay. So this also is MV, but this one is like M1 V1, like how we X1, and this is M2 V2. So because it's the second point. This is like how we have X1 Y1, and this is like X2 Y2. Okay. So the slope. Let's write the rate of change. So each month, how many we want to know. So let's write the formula y2 minus y1. This is the formula, right? Now, the regular formula, now we can change it to our requirement. That is, in this case, we're talking about the difference in how many vocabulary words. So V2 minus V1. And how many months pass? M2 minus M1. And there you go. You can just work this out and you get V2 is 31 here. 31 minus V1 is 5. and m2 is 18 minus m1 is 12. So if you work this out, you get 26 divided by 6. And we can reduce this dividing by maybe 2 and 2, and you get 13 by 3. Okay, so this is m is 13 by 3. Now, the equation is, remember, it is y is, this is our regular equation slope intercept form, but now I'm writing is number of vocabulary, right? So we can write this m times. Oh, now this could be getting a little confused with the m that I used here. So now this one is, let's take this as uppercase m. I think that's better to change. This is m number of months. So uppercase m stand for how many months? So because I don't want to get confused with the lowercase m there. So this one is uh, so m times X stands for vocabulary, months passed by, so uppercase M, and then plus B. P is what we don't know. So the equation becomes V equals, and this we know 13 by 3. So it means every 3 months, uh, 13 new vocabulary words are learned, and times the M plus B. And the next part is we need to find out what is this B, right? So for that, we have to plug in. We can plug in this one as V and M. M and V. So I think, so this will be, so M is 12 and V is 5. So 5 equals 13 times 3, and M is 12 plus V. And we can see we can cross out 3 crosses out 4 times, and 4 times 52 will be 4 times 13 is 52 plus B. And if you solve this by subtracting 52, you get minus 47. So the equation becomes, so your final equation is y is, no, not y, but we are using, so the V is 13 by 3 and times the number of months passed plus, not plus, it is minus 47. So this is, I could use also, we could use A as a number of months. Anyway, if you get confused with this V and this M part, what I would do is, let's see, you could change this whole thing and say, okay, let's call X is number of months. So that would be the best way. X is number of months and Y is number of vocabulary words, number of vocab words. Okay, and you can just write Y equals MX plus B. That way you don't have to get confused. And this was 12 was 5, remember? And this was 18 is 31. So this itself is like x1, y1. And this is x2, y2. And you just have to use a slope, which is m. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So you can use this and get the same answer, like 13 by 3 get. Okay, and then put this in the equation and you get y equals 13 by 3x plus b. And you want to notice b, so plug in this piece. So this 5 goes here, and this 12 goes here. So 13 over 3 times 12, okay? And plus b. B is what our goal is to figure out b. 3 crosses out 4 times 13 is 52. So if you get confused with the earlier explanation that I gave, you could like do like this also and get the answer. So your finally the equation becomes y is 13 over 3 x and the b is minus 47. You're done. So that's the relation model, linear model of the relationship between child's age and their vocabulary. But the question is, goes beyond that. It says after 15 months, how many vocabs are you? So here, when x is 15 months, so the third question is when x is 15, how many vocabulary words did the child? Uh, so the equation is y is 13 over x times 3, and this time your x is 15. So I put 15, and then plus, sorry, minus 47. This is minus 47. So 3 divide 15 5 times. If you multiply this, your y equals 65 minus 47. And if you do little maths there, you get answer is 18. So y equals 18 and you're done. Hope that helps. Let's do another one. Example number 6 says, in the fall of 2019. Now see, this one tells us in the 2009 in the PIMA Community College tuition fee was so much for every 1 credit. So each credit is 84.50 for one. But in the fall of 2020, the tuition fee increased and it went to 87 for one. So we are supposed to construct a linear model for the cost in-state resident tuition for 1 credit, assuming it is. So what that basically means, the main thing is, I'm going to show like this with a table, okay? That way we understand better. We have x and y. Let's put this. X is the input, how many years pass by. Now, he said in the year 2019, right? 2019. So in the year 2019, that's when they try to check on the tuition fee, and it was 84, right? So that means the input is in the year 2019, it is like 0. That's how starting point. So this way it becomes easier. So in the beginning, it was $84.50. But in the year 2000, so let me put it here, in the year 2020, so this one, it went up. That means 1 year since. So from here to here, 2019 to 2020 is like 1 year. So I'm going to put 1 year. 1 year, the, the fee was 87.50. Okay. So what you get is you get 2 points. This is like your x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. So, so you want to know for that what is the rate of change for that from 2019 to 2020. So our goal is to figure out what is y equals mx plus b. Okay. So the question is what is x stands for? X stands for number of years. So number of years since 2019. So that's the beginning, right? And what is y stands for? Uh, so tuition for an instant. So tuition for 1 credit for X number of years. Okay. So this is the main two in. So this is the input and output. So the independent variable. This one is independent because the tuition fee depends on how many years have passed since. And this is depend since 2000 dependent variable. So you better understand input, output, and so all you do is the same thing what we did with numbers. So the two numbers are like, sorry, here the two numbers are 0 and 8450, right? You don't need this table. I just thought I'm showing. You can just put this number like this. And the other one is 87.5. So this is your x1, y1, and x2 and y2. And if you use we want to find the slope first. Just to find the slope, it is y2 minus same thing. And you plug in. So y2 is here 87.5. So that 87.5 minus this one 89 point, sorry, 84, right? This is 84.5. And then divide by 1 minus 0 because this is x2 is 1 and x1 is 2. So you get, if you work this out, you get, use your calculator and you will see this is 250 divided by 1. So the m, therefore this is that m part. The slope is, okay, once you get this, now we write the equation. What is the equation? So y is mx plus b. So y is m is 2.5 times x and b. So our goal now is how to find this b, right? So what we can do is we can use in this example, if you see, the first point is 0 and 84.5, right? So by just looking at this, when you have the first number is 0, by default, this is already b. This is the y-intercept. It is y-intercept. And you can check also if I want to plug it in. If I want to plug this as x and y, so instead of x, if I plug in 0, you can see y is 0 plus b. Of course, y is 84.50, which I forgot to put here. So this is 84.5. So your b is 84. That's it. So we can write this one equation. This equation now reduces to y is 2.5x plus b. I mean, the b we already found at 84, 84.5. So this is the linear model for this particular real world application problem. But then we have one more question. What is this is called also called a prediction equation. This is prediction basically means what if they had to ask us. The next question, what about 2024? How many years? That means if it is 2024, from 2019, uh, so this was our prediction equation, and our question is, what about 2024? So if this is 2019, and you want to go 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So how many years? Uh, from 19 to 24, so you get 5, right? So it's like this is, let's say 2020, 2021, 22, 23. So how many years since 2019? You can say this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So all you do is plug in. To find this in the year, you plug in x equals 5. So you're plugging in number of years since 2019. So you want to know how much is the tuition fee for every credit. It is 2.5 times 5 plus 84.5. And you do little maths there, use this. You'll get like 12.5 and plus 84.5, and then together this give you $97 and you're done. And then there's the additional question of when would be the tuition be 150? So this is like undoing, like they gave you the output So y is given. What does this basically mean? You are being given it is 150 is the tuition fee. So we want to know what is this? This power. When is this x? What is this? So what you do is you plug it in, and this is the main equation. You plug in y is here, so it becomes 150 equals 2.5. X is what we need to figure out, and 84. The first step is back to your 7th, 8th grade maths where you subtract 8450 both sides. You use your calculator, this cross out, and this when you subtract, you get so if you subtract, you get 65.5 equals 2.5 x. Then divide by 2.5 both sides, and using the calculator, you get 26.2 equals x. I mean, what does this basically mean? Between the years, between so 26.2 basically between 26 years and 27 years. But we want to know when will it be over 150. It means greater than $150. So greater, that means we have to use 27, completion of 27. So all you do is 2019 is when we checked on that tuition fee was this. So to do this one, you add 27 and you get answer as 27, and you will see it is the year 2046. We are done. So I hope that helps to understand how to apply, how to use a linear model y equals mx. How do we get a prediction equation? So this is like a predict. We can always predict which year, what will be the fee, or if you want to know how many years has to pass by to if the credit is if the tuition fee is something. Let's take another one last problem. Okay, 6.2. The population of a small city in the year 2012 was 32,500. So if I want to make a table, remember I always like to make a table x and y, and uh, x could be number of years, since number of years. Uh, like in the beginning, we can call the 2012. So this is 2012. That's like a zero. So it's like in the beginning, the population was 32,500. This is the understanding. And then they gave you also in 2018, that means in between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means this is 2013, this is 2014, 2015, 2000. You don't need this table. I'm just making my own just to get a visual understanding. You can see this means you can go, this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That means 2000, this is 6 years past. So if it is 6 years since 2018, the population has grown to 37,000. So this is 37,000. See, so this is like your x2, y2, and this is x1 and y1. So we want to create a equation y equals m. Our goal is the same thing. How do we create this equation? So I would use this 2 point. This is like x1, y1. This is x2, y2. We don't need the table. So let's write down, clear this table, and straight away take only the point, and the 2 points are in the 0 year, that means 2000. The population was 32,500, and the second point is 6 years because 2008 to 2000, from 2012 to here 6 years, so it is 6 is 37,000, correct? So this is x1, So what is the slope here? Slope is the rate of change each year, how much population has grown. So y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, plug it in. So if you do this, so this is your y2 37,000 minus 32,500 and divide by 6 minus 0. And if you subtract this, you get 4,500 divided by 6. And your slope is the 750 persons per year. It means each year 750 population gets increased. You're adding 750 more each year. That's the understanding. So what does the slope mean to you? Basically means it means slope is each year the population grows by 750. That's it. So every year the population increases by 750. That's the problem. Second question, what is the prediction equation? Now that we got this, the formula is y is mx plus b, right? And remember the zero, this itself tells us this is the b part. This is the, so when you write zero, the first number is zero basically means this is the y, and which is b, which is b. So this is y equals, so this is 750x, and the b is this piece 32,500, and you're done. That's the prediction equation. And sometimes they also use this, instead of x, you can say 750 times t. T means how many years passed since uh, since since 2012, right? So you can use the variable t stands for, instead of x, you can use t, and instead of y, you can use something called function notation, means p. P population depends, and you use a parenthesis to show input. So this is another way to write function notation where the instead of y, so the y is population after t years. So this means population after t years. So this is another way to use. But if you get confused, I would just use this. But you could also start it from the beginning itself and say, okay, slope is like here you could say t2 minus t1 like this. So, and this is like p2 minus p1, and you could change like this. But if you get confused, stick to this only. Our last question is, in what year would the population be 45,000? It means we want to know for what x. Let me take this off now. So which year the population is going to be 45,000. See? So in this equation, you put y as 45,000. This will be 750x and plus 32,500. Now you have to solve for x. So subtract 32,500 both sides. Use your calculator if you get confused. This crosses out. And this will be, if you get this one, will be 12,500. And then divide both sides by 750. So this 750 crosses out, and you get x equals 16.67. So that means between 16 here, what does this basically? Between 16 and 17, the population will be reach 45,000. That means I'm going to use 16 because after 16, so which is 16. This is the 16 has to be added to 2012 here. So 2012, you add 16, you get 8202. So in the year 2020, our model predicts. So our equation, this prediction equation, help us to figure out that in the year 2028, the population would be 100% 45,000, because 16.67 basically means between this. That means 16 is where the population is going to be 45,000.